Well, this is dog number 4 today. Unbelievable. This is like the nightmarish of all nightmarish days of catching dogs. What's wrong with people? Once again, not a collar inside on this dog. Golly, people. Okay, so we're on another farm after we finally got off of the Great Dog Experience farm. And now we have a coon. It's a young coon, it's a baby coon. And we're basically on this little field in this open deal. Landowners getting some dozer work done up here, and we're working around this dozer deck. So this coon is itty bitty, so I'm gonna release him. There's no reason to take him. And we'll move, reset this and move on down the road. All right, here's the remake on this set where we just caught this young coon. We just threw some of the duff behind it and redid the dirt hole. It was pretty much intact. Added some bait and some lure down in the dirt hole and just blended everything in. And that's what we got. You can see the catch circle around here. And there's like a trail going around this this big dozer deck, and just so you can see, there's an actual 2-track that goes up along. This dozer deck goes for a long way, several hundred yards. So on this side there's a 2-track that runs the dozer deck. And the reason I put a trap right here on this point is because you can see the dozer guys in here doing some more work, recent work. There's this truck right there. I don't want to get too close to this 2-track, have him run over my trap, get too close over there, have him bulldoze over my trap. So I am just going right here on this point. You can see the trail, which is right here, that the critters are just going around this dozer deck because, like I said, it's several hundred yards long, and they have to either go up this side or they got to go around the other side. So that's why I'm putting it on this point. And this is the second coon I've caught right here. I'm just waiting for the canine to come through here. It's just a matter of time. If I can keep the coons out of the traps. Okay, here's something that sometimes we see, sometimes you probably have seen, and I definitely sometimes see it. So this is the set that we caught the coyote in, one of the coyotes in yesterday, along this edge right here. Okay. And we showed you the remake, just had the duff back up here behind it, and you can see that the animal did not come around to the front, did not even try to get into the front, but came around the back of it, dug the duff out, looks like maybe he scratched a little bit, didn't really try to get down in the hole that much, just basically dug up some of the backing. There's nothing out here in the front that looked like he tried to come around this way at all. It just looks like he came around from the back. So we're just gonna fix this up a little bit, and then we're just gonna be patient and see if he comes back. I suspect he probably will. Just have to be patient and let things mellow out a little bit. Plus, you also have to understand there was, you know, a lot of scent here yesterday, some blood and things like that. So this critter maybe came, was a little skittish, did some scratching, and then moved on. As that kind of goes away over the next day or so, hopefully he's going to commit, try to get down in that hole, and then we'll catch him. Okay, so we're down to the last farm today, and it's been one of those weird days. We did set a record for the most domestic dogs ever caught in one day in 5. We've also caught, I don't know, 3 or 4 coons today. Basically, I've had a ton of catches, just not any coyotes, probably because everything's getting in my traps and messing up the coyotes. But we finally got one here. Looks like a decent one. Got good fur on it. And kind of where we are set at is we're kind of on this edge. You got this mowed field right here. We're on this edge, and there's this big peninsula that's sticking out with like trees and brush and rocks and all kinds of stuff in there that jets pretty far out into this middle of this field. So these coyotes are running not only this edge in this field, but they're running this peninsula. And then up farther up there is an old like bone kind of yard thing. And so obviously this was a good spot, and we got ourselves a decent coyote here. And we'll take care of this young critter, and we'll reset it and we'll move on. Thank goodness we didn't catch someone's domestic dog here. My goodness, what a day. Okay, here's the remake of this dirt hole where we just caught this coyote at. And what we got here is I just redid the hole. It was pretty much destroyed. Everything was destroyed. Re-put the trap in here, used a dirt clod over here for a little bit of guiding, put some scat down here that was left here at the scene, and then I threw a little bit of dirt on the left hand side because that's going to be kind of the weak spot. The hole itself is about 10 or 11 inches deep, so nothing's going to be able to get down in there. And in order to have any chance at it, they're going to have to come around to the side. So I'm not that worried about them coming in from the back. They can't really access it from there. So they'll have to come around here to the front if they want to try to figure out a way to get their nose down in there and get a look at it or get close to it. So this is what we got. You can see here's the catch circle here. And again, this is where we are on the end of this peninsula, on this edge of this field. In this low spot, you can see that the low spot runs right here over in there to an abandoned old farm. Nobody lives over there anymore. It's just thick brush and grown up and grown over, and so they have that long edge they can run, and they run right through this low spot to this peninsula, and then right down the peninsula along the edge, and then along this edge right here too. Okay, we're still on this last farm of the day. In fact, this is the last trap of the day, and it's still a weird day. We can catch so many domestic dogs, so many coons, and then we get to this farm and we don't catch a single coon or single domestic dog. All we catch is coyotes. So it's a good day. Last trap of the day, caught this little coyote. Pretty decent fur, pretty decent looking. Where we are is we're in this big field. You can see how big this field is. We're in this big field, and we have this big hedgerow that runs down there, and we have this big hedgerow that runs down here, and then there's a hole in a fence right there, and there's a game trail that's going through the hole in the fence. And I did find some coyote scat here. Just one piece of coyote scat. It wasn't super fresh, and there's another game trail that you can see that goes through right there. That's probably coons, but it's going through right there. So you've got this big old long hedgerow that runs down through here, and it's pretty thick. It's an old road bed right in between the two fences, and both the landowners have just let the old road bed grow up, and it's all just thick. And then you got this big field with all the sage grass, and we're basically right here in this corner of these two hedgerows where they go through this fence. And had a dirt hole set in here and connected on this coyote. So ending the day a lot better than we started, with a giant bunch of domestic dogs and a whole bunch of coons in the middle. And now we're ending the day. So I think the total today is 5 domestic dogs, I don't know, 4 or 5 coons, and 2 coyotes. So at the very end, we started to make a little bit of a comeback and make it a decent little day after everything was clogging up our traps earlier in the day. Okay, so here's the remake on this set where we just caught this particular coyote at. It's this corner right here on this field. Right here and right here. And then out there's the big field. So here's where we are. And this is just a better look of what's out here. So we're in this corner. She pretty much completely destroyed the dirt hole, so I had to, she dug a big hole actually in the ground, so I had to actually, I just basically used the edge of where she had dug this big indention in the ground and put a dirt hole right in that, so it's kind of into a little embankment almost now that she created when she dug out this hole. And then I just put the trap back in there, threw some grass and duffed around the back side of it, and then she left me some scat, so I put some scat right there, and just let this be. Lure and bait down in the hole, and you can see the catch circle. I'll back up, you can see a little bit more about, that's what the catch circle is going to look like in this field. And again, this is a young female, it's a pup. So if it was a big adult alpha male, I'd put another trap right over here somewhere. But since it's a female, I'm just letting it be, and I'm putting it right back in there, and I'm gonna just move on down the road. I never usually say this because I don't honestly think it matters that much, but I had several people say, hey, how come you never tell us what you put in the hole? It's because I use different things all the time, and I have to write it down to keep track. But in this particular hole, I put Hiawatha Valley down in there for this remake, and I have GH2 in there as a lure, and I have no urine because there's everything already here, so it's kind of a waste. What I went back and looked in my book. What I had in here before was Dunlap's Soul Taker mixed in with some Canine Force from Cavens, and I had Red Fox urine on this particular set. So that's what I had originally, if that makes any difference. And then that's what I've put in there now, just something different. Soul Taker's got a itty bitty little bit of skunk essence in it, so I wanted something, a bait that's different. So I put Hiawatha Valley down in there, and just something different. And then since I used Canine Force before, which is more of a food-based lure, this time I used, you know, GH2, which is more of a, it's got a little bit of skunk in it, but it's a little bit more of a lure than a food lure, more of a curiosity kind of slash call kind of like thing, I'd say. So that's what I got going on here, and we're done for the day. Time to go home and skin critters. So we're gonna load up this last coyote of the day and get out of here.